Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to the Be a Better You Annual Challenge Day 24. Today we are talking about, and I want to share this little cute book. It's In My Heart, a book about feelings, because we're talking about how emotional health, well-being, and intelligence impacts and makes us a better person. How can it transform us and make us a better person? This little book by Joe Whittick, illustrated by Christine Rossi, is an example of what I think is a good move toward children's books. They're sharing and making talking about and dealing with emotions really, really fun, and how to do it in a positive way, and learn to take care of ourselves and realize that we all have all kinds of feelings all the time, and that there's a way to respond when we're having all these different feelings. I also love the little cutout hearts on each page. I think it's really a fun way of illustrating and demonstrating that we all feel both positive and negative emotions and feelings sometimes, and how we choose to respond, because we always get to decide how we're going to respond, whether we believe it or not, and whether our experience teaches us that or not, which it usually does teach us that. I've learned a long time ago that I am a very, very emotional person and being, and things show on my face. I remember thinking as my kids were growing up that you could always tell exactly how they were feeling based on looking at their body language and their faces, because it just showed. And then I realized, oh, that's me too. It shows right exactly how I'm feeling. So how can, and that's our question to ask ourselves today, how can and how does already my emotional well-being and state and health, my feelings at the time, impact and make me a better person? How can it make me a better person? It can make us a worse person, right? If we immediately react to everything that happens around us, we don't usually make the best decisions. We don't usually put our best foot forward in situations where we are letting our emotions guide us and rule us. And we see this every day in different situations, especially in the news. We see emotions guiding, and they're not even emotions founded in reality, right? Or in facts. They're emotions just stirred up to rile everybody up and get their attention, right? There's so much negative emphasis in the media because that's what gets people's attention. I notice that in myself. If I'm doing my social media, negative things are the things that suck us in. And I've seen a couple things the last couple of days that I'm like, oh my God, it's soul crushing and horrible. So we need to control that by taking control of that, by doing things that increase our emotional intelligence, by doing things that make us feel better. So why do we care about this? Why do we want to have a little bit of a handle on our emotions and know how we respond to things and how to deal with them? Well, it gives us improved relationships, right? If we have higher emotional intelligence, if we're able to respond and in a way that we want to respond versus just reacting and flying in the wave of emotions. You ever been in an argument with somebody? Of course you have. We all have, right? And all of a sudden you're not arguing about the thing, and you can't even remember what you're arguing about because it's gotten so off track. That's when our emotions have taken over us and we're going in the wrong direction. And we're never very seldom ever do we get the results we want when that happens. So it improves our relationships. Emotional stability helps you to communicate better, helps you to share your needs, helps you to set boundaries, helps to strengthen your connections, enhances decision making. This is one of my favorite reasons and most logical reasons to increase my emotional intelligence and learn more about myself so that I respond in the way I want, not just react. It also means that if I increase my emotional wellness, my emotional well-being, my feelings of security and confidence, then I'm not as likely to just go with the first thing that pops into my head, right? I remember when I was younger, in heated discussions, the first thing that popped into my head usually came out of my mouth, which wasn't always a great thing, right? It was the first thing that popped in, but it's definitely not the first thing that you want to respond to necessarily. It gives us better physical health. They've done studies and scientific studies that prove that emotional well-being reduces stress levels, it improves our sleep, and it boosts our immunity. So all in all, makes us healthier human beings. So what are some things that we could do? And think about this today. Do you do any of these things? Because that would be a way of enhancing emotional intelligence, getting a better handle on our emotions. And why do we even want to do that? Why do we care? Well, because being in charge of our emotions, not letting them rule our lives, boosts our confidence, right? I don't know about you, but when I feel like I am calm and in control and listening, active listening, like we talked about yesterday, it makes me more confident in my reaction and my response to things. It enhances our relationships. I already talked about that. It increases your productivity. When I am feeling in a positive state, I am much more productive than when I'm feeling upset or negative or any type below, I call them below the line feelings. It helps us to improve our physical health. I said that already as well. So how can we go about doing this? How can we make sure that we are handling our emotions in a positive way? We can do a daily gratitude journal. I'll talk about gratitude journals probably 100 times this year out of 365 days because they're such a powerful tool and they're underrated by so many people and professionals. Practice mindfulness and meditation, being present. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make an incredible difference in your life. Develop emotional awareness. Are you active listening? Are you paying attention to body language, the things we talked about in communication? Understanding emotion is key to managing them effectively for yourself and to help other people manage them as well. So if you're a parent, this is critically important, which is why I love books like this for my granddaughters. We didn't really have, or I didn't search out things like that when my kids were little. Set healthy boundaries. This is a big one for the vast majority of us, especially women. We tend to let people walk all over our boundaries, and that is not good. And the final tip I have when it comes to emotional health, well-being, and intelligence is making sure that we're cultivating positive relationships, right? Not just any old relationship, but relationships that are good for us and feed our soul. By positive, I mean it's good for you. It feels good for you. They always say love is love hurts. No, love shouldn't hurt. Love shouldn't be painful. Our relationships and our emotional intelligence shouldn't hurt us or make us feel bad in any way, shape, or form. Now, does that mean we don't have bouts of arguments and things throughout our relationships or conflicts? Absolutely not. Of course we do. But overall, if your relationship feels bad, it's not right for you. All right. So share in the comments below today, how is emotional intelligence, emotional health, emotional well-being helping you to be a better version of yourself? Share at least one thing so we can learn from one another. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Questions, hit me up. Otherwise, see you then. Bye.